Uh-oh. Opinion alert! But I think one of the best 4 stars in Genshin Impact is Xingqiu. While there has been a shit ton of new Hydra sub DPSs, Xingqiu still remains one of the best ones. Even in the new Mono Hydra team consisting of Kokomi, Yeon, Farina, and Xingqiu, he's the only 4-star. So like, that has to count for something. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. But I think looking at him this way is very boring. I think his lore is what makes him the best character. Yes, I mean it when I say best character, and yes, I'm biased because I couldn't think of a transition to the next topic. Anyway, I personally think Xingqiu is a social commentary. You know, if I'm being honest, I actually have no idea how to structure a character analysis, or even what makes a character analysis a good one. So, quick disclaimer, this is my first one ever, and I'm probably going to misuse a lot of literary terms, as I haven't read a normal book in 2 years. So, whoopsies! So yeah, I hope this is up to your standards, if you have any, as I know a lot of neckbeard Genshin fans don't like to read lore. Oh my god, speaking of Section 1. Lore. I think the first thing I need to do is summarize Xingqiu's character stories. I do recommend reading them, as I think people can only come to their best conclusions when they have at least some experience. But here's a quick summary. Xingqiu is a second-born son in a rich family and is very naturally talented. He's like intelligent and well-read. Because of this, his father and brother really want him to help out in the Feiyun Commerce Guild, but he's like, nah, and decides to go learn about martial arts, as he really likes martial arts and the chivalrous heroes in those books, and he wants to be like them one day, you know, don't we all? The art his father signed him up for was guhua, which is a dying art. His dad knew damn well that guhua was dying, but he couldn't care less, because he thinks this is just a hobby and not what Xingqiu wants to do in life. Xingqiu, however, quickly masters the guhua art of ring cutter and basically revives the art, to the point where the clan said word for word, bar for bar, "It is not Xingqiu who needs the guhua clan, but the guhua clan that needs Xingqiu." Like, okay, shit, that's fire. So now you might be like, oh, wow, he must be so diligent and hardworking and serious. And like, to an extent, yeah, but... Section 2. Facades. A lot of people think that the elements have some sort of theme to them. While I personally don't know what I think of the other elements, I know for certain what I think Hydra represents. Having to deal with heavy burdens, whether you place them on yourself or not. It's more like a pattern, and there might be some character who breaks that pattern, but I don't know, because I only know about the characters I really care about. But anyway, think of Ayato with the Kamisato clan, Kokomi with the Resistance, Farina knew that with Fontaine, even though Nuvulet's case is a bit less, Barbara with being an idol, and finally Xingqiu with the Feiyun Commerce Guild. Xingqiu very clearly puts on a facade around strangers. He tries to come off as a studious and quiet guy, but in reality is very mischievous and chatty. He only uses his facade to make sure the Feiyun Commerce Guild's reputation doesn't falter. He says this because they see him as only the second son of the Feiyun Commerce Guild. The moment of relief he can get with Chongyun, Shengling, and the Traveler is relaxing, but the stressfulness of putting on the facade can deteriorate oneself. This is where I think the social commentary comes in. Xingqiu is talented, intelligent, and studious, but even with all these traits, he doesn't want to take on the family business. It's not what he wants, it's what his father and brother expect of him. He wants to go out and be the chivalrous hero he wants to be, but is held back by family business. Being held back by what you want to do is painful, even if it's just something simple. And this is further explained by the user Orange Peel Panda, who's fluent in Mandarin and analyzes the original Chinese voice lines. This is where it gets a bit opinionated, so roll the clip, I guess.
But I'm more a fan of stags now. To me, the saying, "May my final stand be a monument to chivalry," is about abandoning worldly possessions and reaching enlightenment. But the stag's final resting place represents the hope for life anew. Oh, how I'd love to see it again.
以前是兔子，后来是鹿。对我来说，请从绝处读我侠义是舍弃一切的觉悟，鹿却是绝处逢得新生的希望。真想再见他一次啊！
So this line, he talks about 2 animals, a deer or a stag, and a rabbit. I think the English one takes it all too literally and actually still misses some of the deeper meaning behind it, so I want to dig into it a little bit more. For him, the deer or the stag represents some sort of rebirth from a difficult situation. And before he liked the rabbit is also known as a rabbit god who handles all the homosexual love in Chinese culture. If you follow MDCS, they'll point this out quite a lot. So my reading on this here is A, Xingqiu is definitely gay, and B, he loved the rabbit, but he's being forced to do all this other stuff. So the expectations of him managing the Fate and Commerce Guild, because his brother isn't exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer, and his dad wants him to help out, and all these other societal pressures are coming down upon him. And so he wants to go back to being his carefree attitude to be able to love as he wishes, but he isn't able to. So that's why he's bringing out the deer that he wants to. He's being forced into this spot that he doesn't want to be in, and he wants to go back and be a rebirth, as he was or who he wants to be. Another reason why he may have picked the deer as his favorite animal at this point in time, because he's being pressured to help manage the Fate and Commerce Guild, is that Lu is a pun on this other Chinese word that is also pronounced Lu, surprise, surprise. But this Lu represents money and fortune. So right now his focus is on making sure that the Fate and Commerce Guild can make enough money and be profitable enough so that hopefully he can just be done and go back to being the rabbit. And this is absolutely not the first time that Xingqiu and Stammered have been paired up before, or even Xingqiu has been mentioned as possibly someone who isn't heterosexual.
So yeah, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, as I think one of the goals for LGBTQ plus rights is that people shouldn't have to make a big deal about whether or not a character is gay or is just implied to be gay. I wish that we can just live in a society where we can just say that we think a character is gay and everyone is chill with it, whether they agree or not. If you personally don't think Xingqiu is queer, that is fine, and I'm not going to dive into what I think is queer coding and its character. But, if you don't want to comment about how you disagree with this statement, that's great, because it'll increase my reach. Anyway, it does at least play some sort of part into his social commentary. It again shows that he has to put on some sort of facade. He's dressing himself up as a deer, but in reality is the rabbit, and he knows there's no changing that. I don't think I have to spell it out for you any longer, so...
Section 3. What Xingqiu means to me.
Xingqiu is a critique of societal pressures. His two sides of his personality are a side effect of that. I think what Xingqiu's character is trying to say is you don't have to be held back by something you don't want to do. No matter how important it may seem, it's still your life, which is something only you can shape and change. I used to be a gifted kid. I know, who isn't? But I'm naturally good at memorization, so my early years were filled with high grades. Then I realized that, simple talent isn't going to get me far if I don't try and, continue to improve it and use it properly. Anyway, eventually I had to take summer school due to the fact that I didn't pass math. But seriously, I thought something like, why do I have to be great at something I'm not? And why am I not fit for a supposedly normal life? I realized eventually, I don't have to try to fit life the way my teachers or parents want me to. That summer, I picked up Genshin and saw Xingqiu, and I looked into his lore, and oh my god, I was so touched. We didn't go through the exact same thing, but our situations are very similar. I found myself heavily relating to Xingqiu, and I still do to this day. And I think that's what makes him a great character, just how realistic his struggles are. Even if he didn't go through intense hardships like Traveler, Raiden, Farina, Diluc, Shenhe, etc., I still think the impact his character has on people like me is meaningful. Another opinion alert! But I feel like him being gay fits his narrative. It adds to his facade and is something he will have to hide as he is a second son in a rich family living in China. I don't want to make it sound like I'm fetishizing or I'm pulling this out of my ass, but I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm not a gay man, but I'm non-binary and bisexual. When I was having similar struggles to him, the feeling of knowing I was queer made it worse. It would have ruined the perfect image of myself that I set up. Again, I don't have the exact same experience as him. I'm not in a noble family and I'm not a martial artist, but I do have a fairly close-minded dad and brother.
So, even if he didn't reach out to anybody else, he at least reached me. And that's what makes him special to me specifically.
Thank you so much for watching. This is just a yap session, so if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And, if you appreciated this video, make sure to leave a like, because it can help out with my reach. This is my first, actual video as an aspiring creator, so, your support can really help out. I did have a lot of fun making this video. I think I'll be sticking to this editing style for this kind of video, where I use Sasuke Shume as, an avatar almost. I don't really have anything else to say, so...
and yeah.
Okay,
Love you guys. Don't forget to smile. When you hold me tight